Okay, so my name is Christine Rainier. So we're going to discuss motivating and developing staff. So I have a few objectives listed below that you can read. We'll cover them throughout the presentation. So to get started, we'll discuss behavior and performance. So some employees perform better than others. Since everyone is different, those differences influence an individual's behavior and performance when that individual is working. So when someone is hired, when they are sitting down for an interview, the manager has to ask them questions. The manager can only go by the answers that potential new hire says. So the manager does not have adequate knowledge of one's abilities and interests. This can lead to problems. So you can be interviewing someone that seems qualified, but actually isn't as qualified as you thought. So then you bump into a problem. So two factors involved as determinants of job performance include motivation and ability, which has been revealed by employee performance literature. So motivation and ability go hand in hand, and they affect how an employee performs. So I have a funny video here. We won't go over the whole thing, but you'll get the gist here. I'm going to pull it up in YouTube. It's about someone that's not motivated that is interviewed.
Would you walk us through a typical day for you?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm
Space out?
Yeah, I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
Peter, would you be a good sport and indulge us and just tell us a little more?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something about TPS reports.
TPS.
The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care.
Don't care?
It's a problem of motivation, all right? Now, if I work my ass off and Initech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime. So where's the motivation?
And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now.
I beg your pardon?
8 bosses.
8?
8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
So I think that video is perfect because it does like a small introduction for motivation. So he was not motivated at all, and you heard him say that he really had no reason to be motivated because even if he worked a lot of hours, it really didn't pay off. And we'll talk about different points that were mentioned in that video. So moving on to job performance, motivation and ability affect employee performance. So as far as examples within employee performance, it includes daily job performance, attendance, punctuality, adherence to policies and procedures, absence of incidents, errors, accidents, honesty and trustworthiness. They're all a part of employee performance. So motivation and ability affect how an individual performs. So what examples of motivation? So we'll discuss compensation and benefits. They would be examples of motivation. So for instance, in the video, he didn't have any motivation. Examples of ability include responsibilities and education. So employee motivation. What is motivation? Motivation describes the factors that initiate and direct behavior. So motivation, the actual definition of it would be individuals' degree of willingness to exert and maintain an effort towards organizational goals. Motivated employees are preferred because they want to do the best performance that they can possibly achieve. Motivated employees are more beneficial to managers because of that. They have a higher chance of being productive compared to staff that are not motivated. There is a correlation between motivation and job satisfaction. Job satisfaction usually leads to keeping your staff, which reduces costs that's involved during recruiting, hiring, and orienting. That all is very expensive. I like to hire new nurses, and you put a lot of time and money into new nurses, so you want to do as much as you can to keep them. So here are two examples of a worker that's unmotivated and a worker that's motivated and expresses job satisfaction. So for an unmotivated worker, they usually work long hours, they have fewer resources, feel isolated, they tend to leave their jobs as well. So they tend to have fewer resources than urban health centers. And they're known to leave their jobs for like large city hospitals, find a job that's more appealing, has more opportunities. So a motivated worker that expresses job satisfaction has a strong career development, adequate compensation, healthy living and working conditions, and positive relationship with staff. So here's another key topic, internal motivation. So we're talking about like external motivation factors, just basically like pay raises, like what we watched in the video. He said that even if he worked a lot, it won't pay off. So we do have those motivators there. So a study was done that revealed 4 important elements that nurses reported: time, autonomy, communication, and complexity. So there are key elements involved that basically it's within your control. So according to a research study that was revealed, it was by Pippi Bissell. So moving on, we have motivational theories. So we have two groups, content theories and process theories. Content theories are less useful today. They emphasize individual needs or the rewards that may satisfy those needs. The theory is less useful because it does not specify what reward, and it does not specify the importance of rewards to individuals. Process theories emphasize how the motivation process works to direct an individual's effort into performance. Process theories can help predict an employee's behavior in a certain situation. Process theories are listed below, and we will watch a short video clip and we'll only watch part of it, because the other part is not information we're covering.
Let's look for a moment at how various incentive plans work in light of different motivational theories of behavior. Reinforcement theory, goal setting, expectancy theory, and agency theory will help you understand how different incentive plans affect employees' attitudes and behaviors. According to reinforcement theory, when people experience positive consequences after they do something, they're likely to repeat those actions. This, of course, includes employees when they're rewarded under a company's incentive plan for what they do. In short, reinforcement theory suggests that individuals are likely to repeat certain behaviors when they're rewarded for them than when they're not. A second theory regarding why incentives may prove to be motivating is goal-setting theory. When employees are committed to specific, challenging, but attainable goals, the goals serve as an anchor to focus their efforts on, as well as the amount of effort needed. By setting challenging goals rather than simple goals, employees are encouraged to push themselves to achieve their objectives. And when individuals have specific goals rather than vague goals, they have a clear sense of the objective they're trying to realize and are more likely to focus their efforts towards that goal than on other irrelevant or less relevant activities. Another useful theory regarding the potential motivating impact of incentives is expectancy theory. According to expectancy theory, employees make decisions regarding how to act at work based on which behaviors they believe will lead to the most valued work-related rewards and outcomes. Expectancy refers to the degree to which employees believe that, if they work towards a certain performance objective, they'll be able to achieve that objective. If employees don't believe they are capable of achieving the objective, their motivation to work towards it will diminish.
So I think that video really goes over the key points with those theories. One that I did want to mention that's a common technique is known as punishment. So negative reinforcers are used to inhibit an undesired behavior. So let's say someone isn't documenting correctly, and then the manager brings it to their attention, and the manager continues to observe the employees' charts, make sure they're documenting correctly, and keeps telling them about it until they know that they're doing what they need to do correctly. So that would be an example of that. So moving on to staff development. So staff development begins once the employee is hired. Orientation begins staff development. So on-the-job instruction and preceptors, they are used during new hires. And nurse residency programs, we'll talk about that, as well as mentors and what a coach is, as well as career advancement. So nurse residency programs help the new nurse transition into the nursing role. They normally last 12 to 18 months, helps with retention and diminishing a lot of that fear and shock of being a nurse. So mentors have even a greater role. They really get to know the new hire much more than the preceptor. So it can last for 6 months to 2 years. Basically ends when that person goes to a different job or really climbs the ladder. So a mentor is able to guide, support, and nurture a newer nurse. And then coaches resolve conflict. So let's say a patient and a nurse aren't getting along, then it can either be a nurse or a human resource staff that would get involved with that. The goal for a coach is to reduce the turnover rate. And then career advancement, that involves continuing education, clinical ladders. Many hospitals have advancements. So then we have why is staff important? I'll have you read that. Really retains employees, job competency, patient satisfaction. We really want to educate our staff, and we have many benefits out of that.
Working for Kindred because it has great opportunity for professional growth. There are opportunities such as our clinical ladder. There's opportunity in leadership as well. Clinical ladder is where, depending on your field, you can meet certain certifications. The clinical ladder is an opportunity for them to grow professionally and challenge them as well. You can pursue your education even further, getting your bachelor's, your master's. They're given opportunities to learn new skills. They can educate, they teach. It gives them an opportunity to grow and do other things that they probably normally would not have done. I've been in different realms of healthcare itself, from starting at the very bottom as technician to supervisor to standing in for director. You're getting more involved. You're learning how to interact, communicate. So there's a lot of excitement on the floors because not only are they growing professionally, but they're able to support the nurses in doing other duties that they would not have normally been able to accomplish or do. So what we're finding already is that there's more accountability for the team. And they really like seeing us. You know, they want to know what's going on and, you know, what can I do to be a part of this process.
They do promote personal growth. They do promote moving up from within the company versus going out and looking for talent. They encourage the talent. They try to nurture the talent that they.
So Yeah, I think this clip does a great job with showing how another organization succeeded with the Clinical Ladder program, all the opportunities that it opened up for the individuals that were working for that organization. So it really gave you like a perspective of how they succeeded with it. And then here are my references listed below here.